a bucket and a foul. Breakaway. Io.
Oh, meet me at the rim and don't be late.
Give me the hot sauce. Did you not get the memo? Derrick Rose can go upstairs.
Oh, he's for Giddy. The steal. Right for the lead. Yeah.
Big time plays. Big time plays.
Giddy for the win.
Go! My God! I cannot believe it.
Hey, everybody, welcome into a brand new edition of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. Timmy Whispers alongside, and as you know, we are taping on a Monday afternoon, which means the Bulls are between their two games in Atlanta. Stacy King is going to join us from his hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia. Stacy, how you doing? Bulls on a win streak. You got to be feeling good.
Oh, baby. It's 3 in a row, baby. I'm so happy right now. It's so much, the energy, the vibe is totally different. Everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
So that's all you can ask for. They're playing, you know what? They're playing much better. They're getting back to the 8 or 9 men in double figures again. But they're still finding ways to make the games interesting. They're not putting teams away like they should. They're having, leads and then having to fight their way at the end to try to win the games at the end. They've got to find ways to start putting teams away.
Highest scoring game in the NBA, 152 to 150. And, it looked like they had the game in the bag with about a minute to go. And then it got really tense. And in that timeout leading up to the last shot, you said they're going to get it to Trae Young. I thought for sure he was going to go for 3. He wound up getting a contested 2 that spun out. I mean, nothing is easy in the NBA these days.
Well, I mean, everybody in the building knew that Trae Young was going to get the last shot. Had he not tried to flop and he was trying to get 3 the hard way. He was trying to hit an and one and get to the free throw line. And a little bit of heroics, per se, Had he just went in and just shot the ball normally, maybe he had a better chance to score it. And if he was going to do that, they probably should have went with Jalen Johnson and let him take the last shot.
Well, let's talk about the good things before we get into the lack of defense, because that seems to be an epidemic in the NBA. The Bulls, they did just about everything right offensively. They had 41 assists. They shot a high percentage, as you mentioned, 9 players in double figures. Matas was fantastic, 10 out of 11. He only missed 1 3. He's really come on strong the last couple of games. Let's start with Matas. It's really good to see him finding his groove again after a little bit of a funk where he was not putting up good numbers offensively for a few weeks.
Well, I think people need to temper their expectations with him. It's his second year. He started off like gangbusters and he went through a little lull period. You're going to see this with Matas throughout the season. There's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. And I think fans have to be patient with him because, the kid's second year in the league. This is his first year as a full-time starter. So he's shown you flashes that, Mark, he can be the guy. One of the things that with Matas is that when he is aggressive on both ends, he tends to have a really good game. It's when he's passive and he's kind of just standing out 3-point line. Yesterday he was hitting those shots, but he also was getting to the basket. He also was attacking the rim, not just becoming a standstill shooter. In his defense, he's blocking shots. When he's engaged and he's playing aggressive, normally he pretty much has a good game. You can count on it.
It's interesting, too, that you've been saying throughout this season that he's probably best suited at this point in his career to play the small forward position. And Matas said after the game he's really comfortable playing the 3. Billy's going more with the 2 big look, putting Matas at the 3. And I think at this point, the fact that if he's playing power forward, guys are going to be really physical with him. Now he can be out on the perimeter and use his quickness to play defense as well.
I've been saying it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been saying it since they drafted him. Let him grow into being a power forward. Like most of the guys that come in this league, I mean, Giannis was a 3. He transitioned to a 4. LeBron was a 3. He transitioned to a 4. Carmelo Anthony was a 3 and went into a stretch 4. A lot of the guys who small forwards have done that. So Matas shouldn't be any different. Matas doesn't have the body frame right now as a 20-year-old. When he came in this league, he was 18, 18 and a half. His body hasn't grown yet. Let his body grow and develop. He has the skill set to be a small forward. It's not like he's just a guy that just goes in and run and dunks. I mean, he can shoot the ball. He's got good ball handling skills, and he plays with a lot of confidence. And I've been saying from day one, that's probably going to be his natural position for at least 5 years until he can start getting stronger. He's got to put probably about, let's just be honest, he's got to probably put about 15 pounds of muscle on him, for him to transition to a 4. Because what you're seeing now is there's most nights he can handle the power forward position, but other nights he's going up against guys who outweigh him by 25 pounds, and it's just too big of a physical matchup. But at the three position, he's going against guys, 6'6", 6'7", that are not very big guys, but they're highly skilled. They're quick. And I think the big concern probably with Billy is, can he handle the quickness? And I say, yeah, because, he plays positional defense. He's got long arms. He can back off a guy and still be able to contest the shot. I think the big thing for Matas is, and a lot of these guys, is the rebounding part of it. He has to rebound like he's a small forward. He has to rebound like a power forward because he should be able to do that at that position. He should be able to rebound better. A lot of times these guys ball watch, Mark. They don't box out. They turn, they see where their guy is, and then they automatically go try to go get the ball and jump for it, and then they've been getting out rebounded. The big lineup helps that. If you notice, there's been a big difference in second chance opportunities when Billy goes to that big lineup. You don't get second shots because you got all the right people in there. You got big guys out there, whether it be Jalen Smith or Zach Collins and Vooch, and then Modest. There's not a lot of offensive rebounds to get when that crew is out there. It's when you put those guards out there and you go small lineup, that's when it gets exposed a little bit.
Whispers, that's kind of like your career. You started out as a svelte two guard. Now you're a power player, right?
Oh, that's right. I've really added to my frame, Mark.
Stacy,
Mark,
Whispers said he actually played basketball the other week. He got in a game and
Mark,
almost killed him.
Mark, first of all, Mark, don't patronize him, okay? Because he never was a guard, Mark. He was always a forward, man. He couldn't shoot. He was just a slasher.
Couldn't shoot.
He's a slasher. And then he evolved into a spot up shooter after about 10 years of playing pickup ball. He became. Listen, his T-shirt's not retired at Forest Grove. Okay, until you get your T-shirt retired up there, that's why he's playing now, Mark. That's why he continues to play. He's like LeBron. He's padding stats. He's trying to get up there right now.
Actually,
the guy's 50 plus years old, and he's still playing. He's just padding stats right now, baby.
That's right, club leader in every single category.
No, you're not.
Including
I'm
turnovers.
So, Whispers, tell us what that pickup game was like, because if you haven't played in a long time at our age, it's kind of tough to get out there and try to play full court basketball.
You got to shake the rust off. That takes a little while.
Yeah,
get loosened up.
A lot of rust.
Touch your toes a couple of times if you can.
That's your effort for the day. Can I touch my toes? Right.
Well, that's where you start. Like, can I even touch them? Then and you got to start warming up under the basket, not even from 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then you work your way into it, and then hit the game winner like I did. So
you hit the game winner. You're trying to
3-point game winner. Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, you know what, Mark?
There's no tape to prove that.
Listen, we need verification from somebody who's there to tell us that, because I'm not believing that.
There's a bunch of them listening right now, and they're going, "Yeah, that's what happened. I don't know how, but he pulled
the old man hit a shot from the corner. Can't believe it."
Well,
and you know what I said when I shot it? Phillip Rivers, touchdown.
The crazy thing about that, Mark, is once he played one game, he was out for a whole week.
That's true. I felt like I got hit by a truck. It's terrible. Yeah,
the body don't lie, baby.
Yeah.
It does
the body don't lie.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Get home, that honeydew list. You're like, sorry, it's gonna have to be put off for another day.
I'm on injured reserve for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All right, let's get back to the Bulls. Josh Giddy playing at a near all-star level. Almost every night you're thinking he's going to put up a triple-double. He's really gotten a lot more confident with his three-point shooting. If the Bulls had a better record, I think you'd hear a lot of talk about him as a potential all-star.
Yeah, he's going to be there at the end. I mean, what he's doing is phenomenal. I mean, there's not too many guys in the league that are doing what he's doing. Jokic is one that comes to mind. Jalen Johnson, is right there too. His role is a lot different than what it was his first couple of years in the league. And he's becoming kind of the face of that franchise in Atlanta. He's a big kid that can do a lot of different things. So he's up there too. But Josh, on a nightly basis, you can count on a couple things. You can count on a double-double automatically, because he's going to either get assists and points, or he's going to get rebounds and points. He's going to be a double-double almost every single night. The assists, I think he missed he missed one rebound, I think, last night, or he would have had a triple-double.
Yeah.
So he's going to float around, Mark, every single night as a triple-double. And what I like to see Josh do, his three-point shooting has been phenomenal all season. I mean, he's right up there close to 40%, shooting the ball with much more confidence. But what I would like to see Josh do is become a much better defensive player, because that's the one part of his game right now that you can pick apart. Like teams are going at him individually, putting him in different situations, switching situations. He's got to learn how to use his 6'8" frame because you're taking advantage when on the offensive end against smaller guys and using your size to rebound. You got to use it on every aspect of his game. He's got to start using. We're not asking him to be a defensive stopper because that's just not going to happen. But what you want out of him is to be able to stay. It's not like he doesn't lack effort. He does go out there and try. It's not like he's a what do you call it, traffic cone. Like how James Harden used to be early in his career, just Olay, come on through you. Oh, the silverware is right up here, and right in the cabinet over there. Josh is not like that. He gives you effort. He gives you honest effort defensively. I just think that he needs to learn that he's got to have some space between him and the offensive player, where the offensive player can't feel him and use his body against him and then get around him. If he can stay between himself, and the basket, he'll become a much better defensive player. You go back and look when we had Kyle Korver. Kyle Korver was not a defensive player at all. But in order to get minutes under Thibodeau, you had to play some kind of defense. And what Kyle started doing was like he deny you the ball and then he'd back up a step to give him the advantage of being able to slide left, one slide left or one slide right. And I think that's what Josh has to do as well.
It's really nice to see the Bulls at full strength again because that was the key to their 6-1 start. And now you've got guys that really make an impact off the bench. When you bring in Trey Jones and Ayo Dosunmu, they can really change the whole nature of the game. And I think they catch other teams flat-footed because the Bulls' second unit is so much better than most other second units around the league.
Well, they pretty much are. I mean, when this team is whole, your second group has guys who started a lot of games. These are guys who just weren't reserve role players. These guys have started games in their career. So you're bringing experience off the bench. You're not bringing inexperienced players off the bench. Zach Collins started in this league. He's been a player in this league. Kevin Herter started in this league, started a lot of games in this league. These guys are not just typical role players. They're guys that have started in this league and had success. Io has started games in this league. Trey Jones has started games in this league. When you have that kind of experience coming off the bench, they're normally going against players who has never started. Their role has always been to come off the bench. And when you start to see a team like last night, they dominated the Hawks bench. That was one of the big reasons why they were out up in front. It's a weapon for the Bulls, and that's why they had got off to such a great start in the beginning was because of their bench. Their bench right now is the second best bench, in the league right now behind Memphis. Not too far points wise. And they did take a hit because of all the injuries. You lose Trey Jones for an extended period of time. You lose Zach Collins with the broken hand for extended period of time. Io's been out of the lineup. So you're missing key guys. And then some of those guys had to go to the starting lineup because starters were out. So of course they're going to struggle. Of course they're not. They're going to lose some games. But now you see how important it is when you have everybody back. Cleveland, people say, well, Cleveland. Cleveland's still a winning team. They have a
Right.
above 500 record, and they're still a team that's going to make the playoffs when they turn it around. So it wasn't like it was a fluky win. Oh, like they beat, the Brooklyn Nets. They beat a Cleveland team who's only missing Mobley and Max Strus, who hadn't played all year long. So they beat them twice at home and on the road. Then you come down to Atlanta. Atlanta's missing Porzingis. Trey Young comes back. They're pretty much whole. The Bulls beat them last night, and really, honestly, probably should have beat them double digits. They had an opportunity to do that, and that's what I'm talking about early in the show. Is they've got to find ways. They got to be sharks when there's blood in the water. You got to finish teams because teams are too good in this league, and the defense is not as good in this league. Teams can come back. You can be down 25. We've seen the Bulls be down 20 something, 18 points, and come back and win a game. And if you don't have good defense, you're always in the game.
And one of the guys you didn't mention, Isaac Okoro, returning after the back injury. The Bulls
Yes.
were 1-7 in the games that he missed. They have a winning record when he's in the lineup. I don't want to make it that simple to say he's the key to all their success, but to have a perimeter defender, to do the guy that can shut down the leading scorer on the other team, or at least hold him somewhat in check, really gives this team a boost.
Well, he's so important with his energy level. I mean, he guards the toughest person, whether it be a point guard, whether it be a small forward, sometimes power forwards. He had to guard Larry Markkinen in Utah. Um, you can pretty much put him on anybody, but where he was missed is his energy because the Bulls were getting off to slow starts when they were losing when they had lost 7 in a row. That first start, and normally when they, even in the regular season when they were winning, they get off to a slow start. But you had the bench coming in and just destroying the other team's bench and getting the Bulls a double-digit lead because those guys were coming off the benchmark and they were plus 12, plus 15 coming off the bench. So now you take Okura out that lineup, you take missing your key players off your bench. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. So having him back, having the bench back, it's really improved this team's like energy level. It's really improved this team's, they're scoring in bunches. They're not missing a beat. If, Kobe White struggled last night, but you still had 9 other guys pick him up and pick up the scoring slack. He struggled in Cleveland a little bit, but guys were there to pick it up. You got so many guys on this team that are capable of scoring 20 plus points on the roster. It's just a matter of whose night it's going to be. Could be Josh's night one night, could be Kevin Herter one night, could be Vooch one night, it could be any Kobe, it could be any one of those guys. And that makes you a deadly team because teams can't just load up on one guy. Like when we had Zach and DeMar, teams can say, okay, take those two, take them out of the game, stop them. Let's put all of our defensive focus on those two guys. When you got 9 or 10 guys that can come in and score 20 points, that's hard to say, okay, who do we focus on tonight? We can focus on Josh, we can focus on Kobe, but all the rest of the 7 other guys can kill us.
You know what Bulls fans are saying right now, Stacy? They're kind of doing this rope-a-dope. What team have we got? They got off to a 6-1 start, then they lost all those games against the bad teams, and now they're playing great again. What is the real Bulls team? Is it really just as simple as a question of getting guys healthy, or is it just the nature of the NBA that there really aren't any great teams and teams are going to go through cycles?
Well, it's they're somewhere in between those two teams, okay, and that's kind of like a vanilla answer, but they're somewhere in the middle of those two teams because you saw it last night. They had a full roster. They were winning the game. They were up on Atlanta, and then all of a sudden they let Atlanta come back and run like a run on them that got back in the game. That's something you saw when they were losing. When they were 0-7. When you have everybody back and you've got a full roster, there's no reason why you shouldn't dominate when you have leads. You have to learn how. And what happens with them, Mark, is that they forget how they got the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they'll start a game off with good passing, good assist, ball movement, player cut, and they'll get out to a 10 double-digit lead. And then all of a sudden, someone will say, well, we got a lead. I'm going to start jacking up threes now. I'm going to start coming down one shot, isolation. And they're not good enough to do that. We don't have that kind of player that can, like, you don't have a Kevin Durant. You don't have, those kind of players that you say, throw the ball to him and get out the way. We just don't have that. And you don't want to get back into that situation of like where we had DeMar and we had Zach, where we become a one-dimensional team, which is easy to defend. So they have to remember and focus on what got them the lead. What got them the lead was solid passing, basket cut, ball movement. Everybody's touching the ball. And then solid defense on the other end, locking in when you say, okay, we got a 2-possession lead with 2 minutes to go. That's when everyone needs to be pulled together and say, lock in, guard your guy. Don't let a guy break you down at the top of the circle. Focus on the defense end, focus on the rotations. We got this game. Let's push this, 4-point game to 10. Get 3 stops, game's over. That's the mindset they have to have the rest of the way through the season. If they want to be a team that gets to the playoffs, not just in the play-in, but to be able to be a solid contributor into the playoffs, where they have to have that mentality.
After the rematch against the Hawks, the Bulls come home for 4 games, get a chance to get some home cooking, stay at home over the holidays. They're going to see Milwaukee on Saturday, Stacey. I don't know if you saw the comments from Giannis the other day. He again has been very cryptic about his future.
Oh
He,
man.
he again was saying that, well, this isn't a calf strain, it's a soleus injury, which is the same thing basically. And now he's talking like he's going to be out another 4 weeks. It almost seems like he's biding his time until the trade deadline so he can be out of there, maybe not play again over there. I saw a rumor where Milwaukee's general manager, John Horst, who's done just about everything to try to put a competitive team around Giannis, they're thinking about trying to trade for Zach LaVine to give them more scoring. What do you think that would do to the Bucks if they could add if they could add Zach LaVine?
Well, first of all, let's talk about Giannis. Giannis is a passive aggressive guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He says one thing, but he actually means another.
Right.
And if you want to be traded, just be a man and say, I want to be traded.
Yep.
Okay. Just come out and say that. He's such a good guy. He's such a good person. He does love Milwaukee. He loves the fans in Milwaukee. but you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't be behind the scenes telling people you want to be traded and then get in front of the camera. No, I want to be here. I want to be here with my family. I love Milwaukee. No, if you want to be traded, say you want to be traded. Your agent works for you.
Yeah.
If your agent is out there saying things, then obviously it's coming from you. And he's trying to put pressure on the Bucks. If you're the Bucks, you got to say to this, like, okay, listen, man, what are our options here? Obviously, this kid doesn't want to be here. We've done everything we can to, he wanted Dame Lillard. You had one of the best, role playing point guards in Drew Holiday, who didn't care about scoring,
Right.
but was willing to play defense, willing to get Giannis the ball, get out the way, let you do what you want to do. You wanted Dame Lillard. That didn't work out for you. Now you want to go get this person. You want to go get that person. Make your mind up, man. Like at some point, you got to take accountability of why the team is losing. It's not about you getting your points and staying up there in the MVP vote. Sometimes you might have to take a little bit off your game to give someone else an opportunity, to give some of your teammates, opportunity to shine a little bit. And I think, with the situation with him, he's seeing all these people winning and winning and winning, and he's not winning anymore. He won one. And so now it's like he's never going to be happy in Milwaukee because you've heard him early this season talking about all the European players need to be in a bigger city. Okay. He made that comment.
Yeah,
He
he
made
did.
that comment. Okay. So when you make that comment way before the season even started, if I was Milwaukee, the wheels would have been churning right then and there. Like, we're going to have a problem here. So we need to have a plan B if this happens, because now all these guys, and what really upsets me, I'm always going to be for the players, Mark. Get as much money as you can while you can. But also, you have to be accountable for your actions when you get that money. A lot of these guys want to get their money because they know they can get the max deal on the team they're currently at. Okay. Once you get that $280-300 million, and then all of a sudden now you want to be traded. Now, because you can't get that money anywhere else in a regular free agent walk year, you're gonna leave money on the table. You're gonna leave $80-100 million on the table. So you go to your team and say, I'm happy here. I want to win a championship. Give me my $300 million. They pay you $300 million, and then 6 months later, you're ready to leave. That's the new blueprint for these guys. And if you're the owners of these teams, man, I'm like, look, first of all, it's pay to play. Number one, if you play, you get paid. Unless you got a legitimate knee injury and the doctors all concur that it's a legit injury, other than like, I pulled a hamstring. Oh, my calf. See, it seems like more and more people are using this calf injury. Like, everybody's got a calf injury now. You look on the scouter, it's calf injury. Guys
Right.
out 6 to 8 weeks. Calf. I mean, because players are smart. Players realize that you can't really argue about that. You can't, because that is a soft tissue injury. You can't argue. People can't argue about that because that can't happen. So a lot of guys are using that. That you see. I don't hear anything like hamstrings or growing pools. You just hear calf strains. So at the end of the day, like, if I'm Milwaukee, you want to be traded, cool, but you're gonna be traded where we want you to go, not where you want to go. Oh, I want to go to Golden State. I want to go play with the Lakers or play with Luka. No, unless they got a package. Unless they got a package that's gonna make us better, and they get an Oklahoma City type deal where we're getting a 5 first-round picks unprotected, because he's still got a long career and he's a very durable player, and he's an all-star MVP caliber player. You got to get a lot for him. If Mikal Bridges can garnish all those picks that he got, Giannis has got to be worth more than that.
What do you think about them bringing in LaVine?
I think, you know what? I think Zach could help them because they do lack scoring. I think his ability to put the ball to the basket is second to none in this league. And I like Zach. I think the biggest thing with Zach is going to be and I think Zach will conform his game, because Zach has gone, the team Zach's been on, he looks at himself as the number one guy. I'm the number one guy. Run the offense through me. I think Zach's basketball IQ is smart enough to realize he won't be the number one guy in Milwaukee. He'll have to play off of Giannis, and he'll have to play a role that he's probably not comfortable with since his Minnesota days, when he had to play with Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins when he was like the third option.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times guys get so caught up in being the number one option, they don't know how to change. So now if he can come in and change the way he thinks as the number one guy, and just give them what they need, scoring. His defense has to be better because, let's just be honest. The NBA's defense is horrible.
It sure is.
Okay, it's horrible. So Zach's defense is no worse than everybody's playing right now. But in order to get deep in the playoffs, you got to play a little defense. You're going to have to commit yourself a little bit. If he can commit himself like he did when he was on the Olympic team a few years back to get playing time, he wasn't even trying to score on that Olympic team. He was trying to play defense, and that's how he got on the floor. Zach is very capable of becoming a defensive player. I don't know about a defensive stopper. He's athletic enough to be a guy that can stop people. But it's just the willing to do that, the commitment to do it. Because I guarantee you, Zach, in his mind, they don't pay me to play defense. They pay me to put the ball in the bucket. That's his mentality. And there's nothing wrong with that because that's basically what everybody's done his whole career. It's like, hey, man, we save it on the defense end. He won't be able to do that in Milwaukee. He'll have to commit to playing at least some defense on that team if that trade was ever to happen.
Yeah, that's the famous Jabari Parker quote. They don't pay anybody to play defense.
Yeah. Where's Jabari at now, baby?
He's playing somewhere overseas.
Yeah. Oh, man, he's a good kid. He should be in the league.
Yeah.
He should still be in the NBA. He's a hell of a player. But that mentality of, they don't pay me to play defense. Nah, that's not the good thing to say, bro.
So Sacramento's looking to blow things up again. They're trying to trade Zach, trying to trade DeMar DeRozan, trying to trade Sabonis. So we talked about that last week. What's going on in Golden State? They're under 500 right now. Steve Kerr has benched Kuminga. They put him back in the rotation. Now he said he's hurt again, so he's been out. Jimmy Butler has not played well there. Do you think it's just a question of age catching up to this team? You think they're going to blow that up too in Golden State?
Well, I think they're having the same problem most teams are having. Guys are in and out of the lineup, so therefore you have no chemistry. You're not practicing a lot. You got Jimmy late, last season, so he was on his best behavior per se. Like he wanted to play. I think now with those guys that they're older, they're in and out of the lineup. The chemistry's not there. You can't get chemistry just saying we got 3 all-star caliber players. Let's put them together and everything will be okay. You also got a team full of young kids that are like they're hungry to play. It's our turn now. These guys are old, and I'm not saying those kids are being disrespectful. Pazinski and all these kids. Give me the keys. Give me the keys to the franchise. These kids believe that they're better right now. They want to play. So therefore, Moses Moody, Kuminga, Pazinski, those guys want to play, and their roles are being. You got a guy, the kid Pat Spencer. He's come out of nowhere. These guys want to play, and if in their mind is like, hey, listen, why do we keep putting everything on these guys when we got guys over here that can go right now? And Steph Curry's always going to be a threat. I don't care how old he gets. He could be 60, 70 years old. He'll still be a threat at three-point line. But, Jimmy's not a three-point shooter. Jimmy's a guy that slashes. He's got a high basketball IQ. He makes his teammates better. He can get to the free throw line. And Golden State is so used to playing more of a wide open, running, gunning type of game. And that doesn't really fit Jimmy's style of play. Jimmy's a guy that wants to hold the ball, wants the ball in his hands. He wants to hold it most of the clock. And that doesn't work in that offense. So really, it's not a good fit. Even though Jimmy fit last year, it's really not a good fit for his style of play to what the Warriors are trying to play. So I hear his name being mentioned in trade rumors, but everything is always talk. No one really knows what's going to happen.
Right.
You just hear 1,000 rumors, unless it's from reputable people like Shams. I don't really listen to them. So but there are rumors out there about them breaking that team up and trying to move guys.
Speaking of reputable sources, I don't know if you caught this story last week. Earl Watson, former NBA coach, was on a podcast. He was coaching the Phoenix Suns, and he said with firsthand knowledge, he was summoned to the owner's house, Robert Sarver, when he was coaching the Suns at 2 a.m, and they said they had a trade with the Bulls all ready to go. Jimmy Butler for Devin Booker. And Earl Watson said, if you trade Devin Booker, I'm resigning right now. So I don't know if they actually were going to execute that trade, but I mean, this is a firsthand account from the coach. So the Bulls, supposedly, this is back in 2017, were that close to getting Devin Booker.
Well, let me just say this. I don't want to call anybody, I don't want to say cap to anybody, but that's cap. If the owner wants to make the move, the owner and his money wants to make that move, and he's in love with Jimmy Butler, he's going to make that move. Okay. Now, there might have been people in there that gave him a little pause, with that trade and said, hey, this is the reason why you wouldn't make that trade, da, 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 da. And they gave him advice to change his mind, maybe. But at the end of the day, if and I'm not calling Earl Watson a liar or anything like that, but if the owner is strong enough and he wants to make that move, he could care less who's coaching. He'd be like, bye. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just if that guy wants to make that like a Jerry Jones guy, if Jerry Jones type of owner, if he's a hands-on person and he wants to make that move and everybody thinks it's a crazy move, because at that time in 2017, that wouldn't have been a bad situation, to be honest with you. I mean, you had two young players, like Jimmy at that time was just starting to, get into his where he's at now, as an all-star caliber player. Uh that maybe not have been a bad move. I mean, I know Earl Watson was there coaching, but at the same time, they were probably looking for fit. They probably wanted, more defense. Who knows?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, all the stories about trades that didn't happen, that might have happened. Our buddy David Kaplan always tells a story about how he thinks that he was responsible for blowing up the Scottie Pippen Sean Kemp trade because he got word from somebody and it got to Seattle and the owner
Yeah.
got nervous. And, I mean, Stacy, there probably, hundreds of trades that almost happened, but for one reason or another, they got shot down at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, everybody has to be in agreement in the organization. That's why you pay people to make these decisions. And so, when you're in a war room with people, they all have to concur. Like, this is what we feel is best, and everybody's got to be in agreement. There's going to probably be some people that disagree, but if there's more people that agree to make that move, they're going to win out. You know what I'm saying? And then the guys who didn't want that move, then later on they're on a podcast talking about they were involved in the trade, it didn't work out, and I'm disappointed. I try to stop it. So hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we got Pip, and we got 6 championships out of it. Phoenix was able to keep, Devin Booker. They went to the finals,
Yep.
And they, had they had a, I mean, they should have won. They should have beat Milwaukee.
Yeah, they were
won
up
the title.
2-0 in the series.
Yeah, they had a 2-0 lead, and they were arguably the best team in the league that year. It falls down to coaching, making decisions, and I thought they got out coached when it came down to it. And Milwaukee, and Giannis was out. When he had that hurt knee, or hurt knee, right? He was out for a little bit, and he came back.
He came back right for that start of that series.
Yeah, he wasn't 100%.
Right.
So they should have won that game easily, but whatever happens, man. I mean, you get to that point, man, you can point fingers at a lot of different reasons, but you can second guess what the coach does or whatever. But at the end of the day, they had a chance. They probably should have won that championship.
Yeah, so the NBA trade deadline is February 5th. You'll hear all kinds of rumors. You'll hear Giannis tap dancing, saying, "Oh, my agent is just going on his own. He's his own man. He can do whatever he wants," which is all BS. But we'll be following that story until February 5th, and we'll see if the dust clears then. We're going to talk about the Bears coming up next. Your playoff-bound Chicago Bears. Yeah. First, though, I want to tell you one of our great sponsors, our buddy Jeff Vukovic. He's my insurance agent. He can be your insurance agent, too. He'll take care of all your needs, auto, home, and business. Make sure you reach out to Jeff at jeffvuk.com. That's VUK.com. The phone number, 847-825-4783. And can we get a jingle all the way from Atlanta, courtesy of Stacey King?
No, I'm going to have to pass it, Tim.
No,
all right, Tim, there you go.
I'm never doing that
Come on,
again.
Tim.
Nope.
Tim.
You don't let it go.
Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
All right. As Christopher Walken then.
All right, okay, that's good.
Okay.
We haven't seen Chris in a long time.
Nationwide is on your side.
Oh, we're going to have to give Jeff a rebate on this year's show.
That's right. I always was a song and dance man.
Actually, it was pretty good, though.
It was bad. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It's better than Connor.
Better than my real voice.
Hey, listen, that was better than some people I've been passing the mic to.
Well, happy holidays from Christopher Walken and the entire Gimme the Hot Sauce crew. We're going to talk Bears, playoff-bound Bears next. Hey, we had a great time last week out at Biggers Mazda in Elgin. I want to thank Jim Lecter and their staff. They treated us great. We had fun meeting some of the people coming in and checking out the new cars. And you should head out to 2100 Randall Road. It's the biggest Mazda store in the state of Illinois. Biggers offering a bottle of Stacy's signature hot sauce with test drives of new or pre-owned vehicles. Your choice, everything from the coolest SUVs to the stunning Miata. They tried to get Stacy one of those sports cars, but we had to settle for Whispers.
We needed to get some of that P. Diddy baby oil to slide him in. We would have had him.
Oh, no.
We could have
First of
gotten him
all,
in.
first of all, Mark, he barely got his ass in there.
I
He
know,
don't
he
what
barely
he's talking
did, yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he barely got in there, and he gonna try to push me in. You gotta take a picture of it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Come
No
on.
damn well my long body was gonna fit in there.
Yeah, but that's like the ultimate meme for biggers, man. We could have had that. They could have doubled our sponsorship.
Well, that we'll do without that sponsorship.
That's a
I
bit
had
of
to
a
force
teaser.
I gotta force myself into hurting myself trying to get in the Miata. No.
Yeah, we want to thank Jim Lecter, though, and his crew. We had a great
Thanks,
time out
Jim.
there, and make sure you check them out at 2100 Randall Road in Elgin. Everybody's going crazy, Stacy. I know you're in Atlanta, but you would not believe what it was like Saturday night when that final pass went into hands of DJ Moore. It exploded in Soldier Field, and people are just like on cloud nine. Christmas is coming up, and the Bears are in first place and going to the playoffs. What a finish to that game.
Mark, I'm gonna tell you something. Normal situations, I was watching in Atlanta, and normal situations, not this year, but in the past, I would have turned the game off and turned it because I felt
Yeah.
like they would have lost.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough time for them to come back. They hadn't really done anything, moved the ball. But something told me to stay locked in because they've been doing it all season long. They played better. They're kind of slow in the first half, and they come out in the second half and they find ways to win. So I said, I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna stay locked in. And I tell you what, man, that onside kick. First of all, the field goal kicker kicking in those conditions.
He was
Santos.
great. Yeah.
They need to give him. They need to give him his roses, man, his flowers.
You got a game
Because
ball.
he had to make some difficult kicks just to keep them in the game.
Mhm.
Okay, no one's really talking about that because they're talking about all the touchdown, all that other stuff. But he really kept them in the game, kept them from drowning by kicking those field goals because it was really tough conditions to kick field goals in. And Santos delivered. And then that onside kick, I'm like, oh, you got your special team people out there, your hands team. It was just meant to be that the Bears come up with that ball. Man, it was once they came up with it, I was like, oh my God.
And that
They
was
might have a
Romeo
Dobbs,
Dobbs,
yeah.
a starting wide receiver who fumbled that ball away. He had just caught a touchdown pass, earlier in the quarter, and here
Yes.
ball comes right to him. And you talk about divine intervention. I think Virginia McCaskey was like, "You're going to drop this ball, Romeo."
Yeah, something happened. Something happened, and he dropped the ball. The Bears came up with it, and then after that, they tied the game up, and it was just remarkable. If you would have told me they were going to walk off with the win, because Green Bay was in position to kick a field goal at least, or keep the ball moving by getting the first down.
4th and
That
1.
fumble that resulted in that, and they fumbled the ball with it was like 3rd and 1 or something. They fumbled the ball. That killed them. That killed any momentum. You could just see their whole mentality drop. And then the Bears were able to get the ball. Caleb Williams moved them down the field and hit some big throws. That little running back, 25, what's his name? The kid from Rutgers?
Manungai, Kyle Manungai.
Listen, they found it. They got a
Yeah.
steal in that kid. That kid, hey, when they were talking about who could be Gibbs, that guy's Gibbs, but with even more power. He's got speed and power, and he runs hard as hell. Like he hits that hole, dude. And if you're in that hole with him, someone's gonna pay. That's how he runs. He caught that little swing pass, that little quarterback swing pass, and he took it like 20-some yards, and he was just running people over, knocked the dude down. He was still standing up. He's a hell of a back, boy. He's a hell of a back. And in that game winner, I mean, that looked like it was almost a 60-yard throw. Like they were at midfield, I think, but the way he dropped back,
Yeah, on a windy night.
it looked like it looked long. It looked like it was probably 50 plus yard throw.
Mhm,
And
yeah.
he threw a rope in that wind. That ball was like, and it was pass interference. You want to know if they would have called pass interference if he had not caught that ball.
Yeah, Nixon was
that
hanging
dude-
all over him.
And you know what? And that guy, that dude, they should have. I'm glad it happened to him because that dude was he's a dirty player. He hit DJ Moore one time in the series of the game and hit him illegally in the back when he was unprotected and then went off like a coward. It couldn't happen to a better guy that happened to because he could have hurt DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Could have put him out for the year. You hit a guy with his back's turned for no reason. Like, it's crazy. The play wasn't even nowhere near them. And he just stuck him. And then so at the end, it's so fitting. At the end, he was in the play. But
Yeah.
I would have been interested to see if the officials would have called, because I saw no flags. I don't know if they called it. I didn't see no flags because it was a touchdown. But would they have called pass interference on that if DJ Moore doesn't catch that ball?
Yeah, that was a crazy finish. Whispers, Stacy was working at the time. Did you see the finish in the Lions-Steelers game where the
Oh,
Lions
yeah,
scored
yeah.
2 touchdowns that were called back for offensive pass interference? I don't
right.
know if you saw that highlight, Stacy.
Crazy.
I
At,
saw the
at
highlight.
the end of the game, I mean, that was one of the strangest finishes. The referees were in a powwow for about 3 minutes, and it was in Detroit. And I was just waiting for them to say, "Oh, it's a touchdown." Lions win.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they made the right call. They interpreted the rule the right way. Offensive pass interference. The time ran out. That's it. There's not another play. But I was just seeing. I was thinking they were going to give the Lions a touchdown and give them a win there.
Well, those were obvious fouls. I mean, the slot receiver going in and setting the pick,
Yeah.
on the DB, which freed up the guy to catch the touchdown. They call that all the time, and so the calls were right. It's just that it happened to be Detroit was at home, in their crowd, because you remember a few years ago that happened. A last second touchdown was against Green Bay, and that they gave it to him.
How about the
So
way the
deja
referee?
vu.
How about the way the referee announced it though? After this long powwow, the first things out of his mouth was, "The result of the play is a touchdown." But there's offensive pass interference. So the crowd's going nuts.
Yeah.
We win the game. We win the game. And he goes, "Oh, hang on a minute. Hold my beer. I got more to say
Yeah.
here."
Vegas called.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those moments, like everybody in the world's watching him,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like he's telling a joke, and you think you know the punchline, and you don't. And that's what it felt like. He was like, because most people would have said it was pass interference.
Yeah. The
On
game's
number
over.
18,
Yeah.
on number 18.
By rule, the game's
He-
over.
he
Don't
was
even
like-
mention the
he got
touchdown.
everybody's hopes up high. He might have been a Bears guy. That's right why he did that. He might have been a Bears guy. He might have been secretly a double agent and got all Detroit up in the air, like all excited. We have a touchdown. But wait a minute.
That was hilarious. That really was funny. And what about the irony of Aaron Rodgers getting clinching a playoff berth for the Bears by beating the Lions?
It's a beautiful thing. It's funny because that night I was sitting next to my brother-in-law, who's a hardcore Packers fan.
Yeah.
And under the 2 minutes, he actually said, "I still don't feel good about this at all." And then and he's like, "I'm not surprised what happened after that touchdown." But one of the stats was that really shocked me. You know what the record is for teams winning, being down 10 with less than 2 minutes to go?
No, what is it?
The last 501 games in that situation, they lost.
Well, I
So-
mean, it all comes down to the onside kick, which I think it's like a 3% chance
Oh,
or
so rare now,
7%
yeah.
chance.
Was
something
that
like that,
Santos again?
on the onside kick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
get
Oh,
down?
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, y'all better give Santos a statue, man. Santos.
Give him a
is
statue.
big.
He
Man,
got
give him a
spinning.
statue, man. He was in almost on every big play except for the touchdown. That onside kick, he kicked that ball. That was a perfect onside kick, and it was just failure to execute on Green Bay's part, and that turned the whole game around and gave the Bears a chance to tie the game up and then force overtime, and then the rest is history.
How about Stacy? You got George Hallis and Walter Payton, and now he wants a Cairo Santos statue right
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, man. Give Santos. Listen. Who's the kicker? Who's the kicker that missed the field goal against the Eagles that one year?
The double doink.
Yeah, double doink.
I've erased it from my memory.
Cody
Cody
Thank you.
Parkey.
Parkey. That's
Parkey?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the ghost of Cody Parkey is no longer at Soldier Field. Santos is the real deal, baby. Santos, hey, shout out to Santos. I'm gonna get Santos on the show.
There you
no
go.
one's giving his credit. Everybody's Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, No one's talking about Santos, the things he did
He
to
curved
help
one in.
stay in the game, and then the key onside kick that got the Bears
Yeah.
a chance to win the game.
Well, now the Bears are thinking about, can we get the number 1 seed in a first round bye? It depends on what happens in the NFC West. It's kind of a long shot, but they're definitely looking like they're locked in at that number 2 seed. And Stacy, the irony is that unless something weird happens, they're going to play the Packers again at Soldier Field in that first playoff game.
Well, listen, they got to play San Francisco.
Right.
And San Francisco's still playing for something as well.
Yes, they are.
So you're not gonna San Francisco's not gonna come in and roll over and just be like, oh, we're gonna let the Bears win because they need to just win better than us. No, they're on a win streak. They got all their guys back. They're starting to get healthy again. This is a scary team. This is a team that if I was a betting man, I'd be like, watch out for this team here because they're peaking at the right time. They struggled early in the season. Purdy was out with injuries, so you had Mac Jones, trying to dink and dime them victories. Their defense has lost guys with injury. They're starting to come back now. That's a very dangerous team right now, and they're going to come out. They're going to come out and try to punch the Bears in the mouth just to send a message. Just to send a message. So the Bears have got to come out and put this game behind them, this big win against Green Bay, and come out with a different mindset. This could be a matchup sometime in the playoffs. You never know. You might see San Francisco again. So you want to make sure they know we're the real deal. We're not. This is no fake team here. We're the real deal. So if we see you again, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and historically, the Bears have not fared well going out to San Francisco. And the 49ers can actually win the NFC West if they win out. We're taping on a Monday
Yes.
afternoon. They play Monday night against 100-year-old Phillip Rivers and the Colts. If they win their last 3 games, Stacy, they'd win the West. They'd be the number 1 seed.
That's what they're going for, Mark.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Of
I mean,
course,
you get
yeah.
home field advantage. You get that, buy in the first round, give your guys a chance to heal up. And, I think when they play the Colts, that's a game they should win easily.
Sure.
And they'll be able to rest their guys and, play their second and third team guys in that game and hope that none of their main guys get hurt. And you go into that Bears game, something's going to be at stake for both teams. So it's going to be a playoff type of atmosphere.
A lot to be decided in the final couple of weeks of the NFL season. Stacy, we are contractually obligated to ask you about the Oklahoma-Alabama game. What happened there?
Listen, Mark, first of all, I knew you was going to bring that up.
Well, I've got to.
He went to Indiana.
You don't duck that smoke, Stacy. Come on
You know
now.
what, Mark? Mark, let me say this. As a graduate of Indiana University,
there we go.
I knew it was coming.
I didn't know if he was going Georgia or, I didn't know which way he was going to go.
No. As a graduate of Indiana University, my Hoosiers right now, we're getting ready. We're getting ready,
Yeah,
Mark. We got
yeah.
Alabama to take care of. We knew they beat a good Oklahoma team. I think our Hoosiers are we're gonna do it. I think we got a national championship under our belt. I think we're gonna get win it. On the real though, before I jump ship, I do have to chastise my Sooners. That's some BS, Sooners.
Yeah.
Y'all up 17-0.
17-0.
17-0 in complete control of that game. Then all of a sudden, he throws a pick. The quarterback throws a pick with under 2 minutes to go in the half, and a pick six. Then they come out and the punter. See, I got
drops
a question
the ball.
punter.
Yeah.
I got a question to punter. Okay, I can see you shanking the ball. I can see you kicking the ball in the wind. Didn't go far. How in the hell do you miss the ball completely with no wind, no nothing? Okay, you can say, well, he was rushed or whatever. You got one job to do, Mark. You got one job. That's to punt the ball the best way you could. He completely whiffed on that ball, which now results in Alabama to get the momentum. Here's another thing why the Sooners lost. The Sooners, after halftime, they play 50 Cent's theme song, Many Men.
Yeah.
Okay. The crowd gets into it. Many Men. Everybody gets all excited. Okay. They brought 50 Cent out
Yes, they
to the
did.
game.
Yeah.
That was a jinx. That was a jinx, man. And then the Alabama players got all fired up because it was 50 Cent. And they came out with a different attitude. They should have left 50 where he was at. 50, play his music. That's great. Do what you've been doing. I'm a stickler, Mark. Do what you've been doing all your time. I'm very superstitious. Do what you've been doing. If it's been working, stay to the playbook. When you go off playbook and try to add new plays to it, that's when it fails. And you never practice it. That's when it fails, Mark. So that's why I went to the University of Indiana and got my master's degree in Indiana in computer science. And I'm just happy to be part of the Hoosier family.
Yeah.
And good luck to the Sooners. You had me there for a whole season, and now I had to leave. I gotta go. And Mark, as you know, I'm the type of person. Whoever's winning,
that's
right.
Where
I went to school.
Yeah. In the age of NIL, Stacy's fandom is for sale.
Why do you think he has all those hats? It's a lot of hats.
Hey, listen, I be jumping shit like a mug. Oh, wait a minute, you offered me $1 million more than them? Oh, I'm there. How about $2 million? How about you? I'm jumping, baby. I'm like these kids. I'm moving. Every year I might play for 5 different schools.
Yeah, just contact Stacy if you want to get him on the bandwagon. He's definitely available at the right price. Hey, before we get out of here, we want to tell you one baseball note. Stacy, you can wear that White Sox cap next show with pride. You hear? They got a big signing. They brought a slugger over from Japan, Munetaka Murakami, who hit 56 home runs in the Japanese league a couple of years ago. Left-handed power hitter. He's going to be an everyday first baseman for the White Sox. They introduced him this morning at the rate.
All right, I need to know Mark because I haven't really followed him. I need to see what his career has been like.
It's been
I hope
impressive.
it's not. If it's has it been like a 1 year or 2 year thing where he's just dominated, or is he like Otani, or Otani was
No,
Otani
there
is
is no other Otani.
yeah. See,
But no, he
see,
is a guy that's a power hitter. He's a feast or famine kind of guy. A lot of swing and miss, but when he makes contact, he can hit the ball a long way.
he's a guy. So he's a guy that'll probably have a low average, but have
A lot of home runs.
a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like a Pete Alonso or someone like that.
And he'll fit in nicely with their team because they have a lot of young position players, middle infielders.
How old is he?
25, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, so he's still a kid.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he's got a lot of upside to him, and like I said, he had 56 home runs 1 year. He'll left-handed hitter, kind of balance out their lineup. So it's a good signing.
Does he speak English?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, good, because that's the biggest barrier for some of these guys who come over is the language. Otani's got a right hand man that just translates everything for him.
Does all his bets.
And plus he makes like 800 million, so you don't need to learn the language.
It'd be like Shota Imanaga singing "Go Cubs Go" in his shower sandals.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he can invest in Rosetta Stone. All that money he got, he can buy it.
Yeah, so Murakami got 2 years, $34 million. So he got a nice payday.
2 years, huh? Only 2 years?
Yeah, I think that he wanted a longer deal, but the White Sox said, let's prove it. Make sure you can hit major league.
How much
pitching.
did you? Because you always got to pay. You always got to pay. Their leagues money.
Yeah, you got to
to
pay
talk to
them too. Yeah.
Like, did the White Sox like have to pay like $100 million to go talk to him, and then it's the highest bidder? How did that work, or did they just automatically?
There's a posting fee, so they got to pay his Japanese league team for each year of the contract. So that's added on to the $34 million.
I wonder how much that is, because like Otani's was a lot, and these other guys they brought over was a lot.
Yeah.
Just for them to talk to him. You're not even guaranteed you're going to get him. It's like, okay, you got to pay like $40 million just to talk to the guy, and then he's like, no, I don't want to go there. Like, damn, we lost $40 million. It was a 2-minute conversation.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more of these Japanese stars coming over because the teams aren't that sad about losing them because they get that big money in the posting fee.
Yeah, man. They're like, hey, we'll take $100 million transfer fee. It's kind of like the soccer. You see the soccer in Europe. Guys are making $100-200 million, and the team is getting that too as well.
So, Stacy, there's another outlet for you. You should have a posting fee for your fandom too. Schools want to talk to you. Just to talk to you, they got to pay up.
You know what, Mark? I'm a man of the people, man. I try not to. I don't want to get into charging people to talk to me. You know what? I'm on Cameo. That's about as close as I get on Cameo. I took a 2-year hiatus off Cameo because it was just overwhelming. I was getting all kind of requests, and Cameo is really cool because it allows fans to, like, if they want a specific thing said to them or their children or whatever, they can request you say this or that or this and that, which is really cool. And I really really liked it when I first got on, and then it just got overwhelming because then you what happens is you got a certain amount of time to get the request in, okay? And so with my schedule during the season, we're playing every other day, and it's just so hard to get 10 to 15 requests in at once. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take a step back. I was like, oh, that was too overwhelming. And then I had a popular demand. The fans asked me to come back via Twitter and Instagram, and and so some people come to the game. Man, you did a cameo for me like 3 years ago, man. My dad still talks about it to this day. Are you ever gonna get back on? I was like, oh man, there's really an audience. Is there really an audience for this? So then I decided to get back on Cameo, and it's been a lot of fun. And it's managed much better now. I definitely know how to get them all in. As a matter of fact, when we're done with this podcast, I got about 15 I got to do since it's the day off. It's my day off. So I got to do 15 today, so I'm good.
Stacy never rests. He's going to have a sign on his shirt next time. Hire this man at this time.
Listen, man. Hey, in order to shine, Mark, you got to grind.
There you go. Yeah.
That's
All right,
beautiful.
Whispers. Speaking of grinding, we've got another sponsor we want to tell you about. Our buddy Angel Water.
Yeah, Andy
He's
signed
back.
back up with us, and so
Deep little legs.
Angel
He's
Water,
back.
angelwater.com.
Look at that logo. That's clean.
That is crisp. So just use the code KING. You'll get a free water test. They will come out and test your water for free for any contaminants and poisons and pharmaceuticals, whatever it can be in your water, and tell you what's gonna, how they can put a system in and clean that up, like Stacy and I have in our homes. Do you have Angel in your house?
No, I don't. But
We got to get you set up
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Shoot.
Did
Yeah, I mean, you can drink out of my toilets.
did Andy play?
Okay, that's just gross.
Did Andy play in that pickup game you're in?
No, he was smart. He quit years ago.
Okay.
He actually
Yeah,
got
he
three.
retired. He retired when all the greats retired. Tim's the only one patting
No,
stats.
he seriously got 3 sets of stitches in a week.
Oh, that's
And
not good
he
for
says,
pickup
he
basketball.
says, I'm done. It was like his
Yeah.
chin, one eye, then the other eye. He's like, I'm out. I'm never coming
Yeah,
back.
that's when you
That was
start
it.
throwing punches. That's when you start giving people 2 pieces. When they start drawing blood, Mark,
I think
you
he
Yeah.
was
gotta start
targeted.
drawing
Yeah.
blood too. One elbow, you say, okay, that's
Yeah.
an accident. It's just we're balling. It's okay.
Yeah.
But when you start doing it every time, I gotta give you a 2-piece and a biscuit.
Well,
I can't do that.
Well,
bro.
anyhow, call 847-382-7800. Use King code and get your free water test. And after that's complete, you get some Stacy King's hot sauce.
There you go.
Well, and
A
also
great gift
too,
for
they
the
got-
holidays.
They got very good prices, very competitive, and they do good work. And he honestly, all jokes aside, with Chief Little Legs, Andy does great work.
He won't use
does
our-
great
All
work.
jokes aside, as he
All
throws
jokes
in the
aside.
shot.
Listen, he's always gonna be Chief Little Legs to me. Okay, he might not be Chief Little Legs to everybody else, but he's gonna be Chief Little Legs to me. And he's back being a sponsor. We're glad to have him back.
Yeah.
That's our guy. As we've been friends for 30 years of abuse with him too. So
That's-
it's good to
that's
have
true.
him back.
All right, Stacy, before you get onto your Cameo work, give us something for the folks to watch. What are we watching?
I tell you what, I watched that documentary on P. Diddy, The Reckoning, that 50 Cent
Yeah.
put up. Man, I tell you what, boy, whew, that is a very interesting documentary. Like it you don't know, listen, documentaries are supposed to be true. Okay. You don't know how much of this is actually true. Because 50 Cent is a guy that has he could be petty sometimes. And you don't really know and if a lot of stuff that he had in there is true or not. But even if it is, Mark, P. Diddy's a sick dude, man. I mean, he's just a sick guy, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of guys like him out there. They just haven't been exposed yet, and it's really sad to see that a guy who has so much going for him, that's a record executive. He's found talent. He's
Yeah.
put some of the best R&B hip hop people in the world out to be engaging in things like this. It's a sad thing. And I feel sorry for all the victims, all the people. And there's going to be probably a lot more victims come out. There'll probably be some civil suits when he gets out of jail because, now everybody knows what's happened. Everybody knows what he was capable of. So it won't be a shock now. And I guarantee there'll be people coming out of the woodworks, trying to sue him.
So, Whispers, your recommendation's kind of linked to what Stacy was.
Yeah, a bit of a tie-in. Dave Chappelle's latest special,
Yes.
Unstoppable. He does a whole bit on P. Diddy, and I'd forgotten that P. Diddy was the guy who grabbed the guy who tried to stab him 7 years ago on stage. He's the one who tackled him, brought him down. But he ties that into some P. Diddy baby oil, but I won't ruin it for anybody. And
Wow.
he's got some great remarks in there. It's funny as always. Maybe a bit political for some people, but it's still hilarious.
So, some light programming for the holidays. Huh?
One of the all-time greats, though. You can't help but just die. Look at Chappelle. He destroys. And how he sets up the crowd so well. I can't tell you what it is, but there's such the longest setup he's ever done in any special.
Okay.
Very long setup. I mean, 15 to 20 minutes. And then just gut punches you at the end. You're like, damn, I didn't see that one coming.
So, where can the folks watch that? What's
On
streamer is that
Netflix.
on? Okay. Yeah. I've got a thriller recommendation on Netflix. It's called Absentia. This is a really interesting story about a female FBI agent who's held captive for like 5 years. And she finally gets rescued and tries to go back to her old life, but she has selective memory loss and she has all these flashbacks. And turns out, well, I don't want to wreck the story, but, all of a sudden she discovers things that she'd done in her past that she had no recollection of.
Like
and
bad things, or
her husband had remarried, and now the new wife is raising their child. It's really intense. It's really complicated, and
Is
there's
it
all
dark?
kinds of twists. Yeah, that happen throughout the series. So
Damn, the
it's a good
husband
show.
couldn't wait till they found out she was alive.
5 years.
5 years?
5 years, Stacy.
Man, still though, if you loved your wife, you're like, I know she's alive. She's
Stacey's
a
like,
fighter.
I would have waited at least 3
And they
months.
both were working in the FBI too. So
Oh, really?
yeah, so they kind of gave up the search.
Man,
Mm.
I don't know, man. I might have gave it 24 hours.
Before you had
Then
the
I
party.
gotta move on. I gotta move on, man. I got 24 hours, maybe 36 mark, and then I would have moved on.
You can't report it missing until 24 hours, so you got to at least go 2 days.
Okay, 2 days. 2 days. 2 days sounds fair. That's what I would have done. I might have checked that out, man. I might have checked that out.
Yeah, really intense show. Hey, it is Christmas week. We want to wish Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to all the
Merry
folks out there.
Christmas.
We appreciate each and every one of our viewers and listeners, whether you're watching on the Chicago Sports Network, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, if you're listening to us on all the various audio streamers, we appreciate you, each and every one of you, and we wish happy holidays to you and your families.
Yes, and a very, very special Merry Christmas to everybody. Again, as Mark said, this show doesn't exist without our followers and our fans, and we appreciate you guys and all the contributions you guys make to the show to keep it growing. Our YouTube channel continues to grow thanks to you guys. And let's bring in 2026. Let's make 2026 just as good as 2025, baby.
I want to thank our great staff, Cisco and Dee and Nick and Adam joining us. So we appreciate each and every one of you, and we will be back with all kinds of great shows in the new year, special guests and special things coming up for the show. Whispers, anything on the way out?
Merry Christmas, everybody. That's all I
Drive
got
home
for
safe
you.
to Chicago. Beep, beep.
Oh! He didn't come for the massage, he came for the facial.
Does anybody know how to post videos to Facebook?
It's a block party, right? Did he get the invitation?
That's a huge three.
Mustard!
Lonzo left alone.
Give me that sauce.
Able to swerve, bend that corner. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Williams straight on. Got it.